If there's one lesson history keeps teaching us, it's that the simplest solutions are often the strongest. In survival, that truth becomes painfully clear. Today, we depend on modern plastics, tarps, films, and coatings, believing they're the ultimate barrier against the elements. But when the storm hits hard, when the cold seeps in, and the rain won't stop, those same modern materials begin to fail. Long before plastic even existed, soldiers already had a solution. A natural, handcrafted fabric that could survive war, snow, mud, and time itself. They called it oiled canvas, and it saved more lives than any tarp ever would. Plastic tarps are everywhere. They're lightweight, cheap, and easy to find, so they look perfect on paper. But step outside your comfort zone, and their weaknesses show instantly. Under freezing rain, they become stiff and brittle, cracking along the folds. Under the weight of snow, they sag, stretch, and tear. And when the sun comes out, UV rays eat through the thin film, leaving soft, weak patches that leak with the first drizzle. Even when they work, they create another danger: condensation. Because plastic traps air and vapor, your shelter becomes a sealed bubble. Moisture from your own breath has nowhere to go, coating everything inside with cold sweat. You might be dry from the rain, but you'll wake up soaked from the inside. That's not protection. That's a slow, miserable failure. Now, imagine you're a soldier in World War II. You're sleeping in a half-frozen trench, with rain pouring for days. Your gear is soaked, and your life depends on staying dry. There's no plastic, no nylon, no synthetic, anything. What you do have is oiled canvas. It's thick, tightly woven cotton or linen, soaked with linseed oil or wax. It doesn't shine or crinkle. It feels alive, flexible and breathing, almost like leather. When rain hits it, the water beads up and rolls right off. When the wind howls, it holds strong. And when the cold sets in, it stays pliable, while plastic shatters. This was the material behind everything. British and Canadian duck cloth tents, so tight they could withstand monsoon rains. German Zeltbahn panels that worked as ponchos, stretchers, or full shelters. And Soviet trench covers that endured the Siberian freeze. In every army, across every front, one thing remained the same. Oiled canvas kept men alive. So what made it so effective? The answer is hidden in its structure. The fibers of the canvas swell when they get wet, closing the tiny gaps between the threads, but not completely. When treated with oil or wax, those gaps become one-way valves. Water can't get in, but the trapped moisture from your body can escape as vapor. That's what makes oiled canvas breathe. It manages moisture instead of just sealing it in, creating a natural balance between being waterproof and ventilated. The result is a perfect microclimate: dry, warm, and quiet. Soldiers could light a small fire near the edge of their canvas shelter without worrying about melting fumes. The material also insulated sound, muffling the wind, footsteps, and even the rattle of rain. For men hiding from patrols or trying to rest between artillery strikes, that silence meant safety. What's incredible is that you can still make this exact material today, using tools found in any hardware store. Start with untreated cotton canvas, around 10 ounces per yard, just like the old army tents. Then, mix 3 parts boiled linseed oil with 1 part mineral spirits or turpentine. The thinner helps the oil soak deep into the fibers. Apply it evenly with a wide brush or a rag until the fabric is saturated. Then, hang it in a dry, well-ventilated space for several days. As it cures, the oil polymerizes, hardening into a flexible, waterproof coating that actually ages beautifully. For a cleaner, faster version, you can melt equal parts beeswax and paraffin, and then rub or iron the mixture into the fabric. This creates a waxed canvas, used by paratroopers and engineers for their packs and covers. It doesn't have the linseed oil smell, and you can easily reseal it with heat. Either method produces a result that no plastic tarp can match, a material that breathes, lasts, and truly protects. On the Eastern Front, soldiers faced the deadliest weather on Earth. Weeks of rain, followed by sudden deep freezes. They dug narrow trenches, reinforced them with planks and branches, then covered the tops with layers of brush and oiled canvas. Even as sleet poured for days, those shelters stayed dry inside. Later in the war, when plastic-like substitutes were tested, they failed miserably. Condensation dripped from the ceiling, bedding rotted, and soldiers grew sick. Oiled canvas didn't trap moisture, it balanced it. It adjusted to the temperature, expanding and contracting naturally. It didn't just block water, it managed humidity. In survival terms, that difference is everything. Because staying alive isn't about blocking the environment, it's about working with it. Today, survivalists, bushcrafters, and off-grid builders are rediscovering what WWII soldiers already knew. Oiled canvas shelters are heavier, yes, but they last for decades, not weeks. They don't shred in the wind or melt near a fire. They can be patched, resealed, reused, and shaped to fit any structure. A lean-to, an A-frame, even a dugout. A 6 by 8 foot panel can replace a tent wall. A smaller one makes a nearly indestructible poncho. When layered over natural insulation like pine branches or soil, it creates a self-regulating barrier that's dry, wind-proof, and breathable. And when it finally wears out, you don't throw it away. You re-oil it, and it lives again. We live in an age of high-tech gear, lightweight tents, reflective coatings, and synthetic fibers. Yet, somehow, we're less resilient than before. The soldiers of the 1940s didn't have technology. They had skill. They understood materials, not just how to use them, but why they worked. Oiled canvas endured through fire, frost, and bombardment because it wasn't trying to be perfect. It was trying to be balanced. And in survival, balance always wins. It doesn't melt. It doesn't poison. It doesn't quit. It breathes, flexes, and protects, exactly as it did 80 years ago. So before you trust your life to a plastic sheet, remember this: the same material that shielded soldiers through war, snow, and storms might just save yours, too. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to Forgotten Survival, where we explore how forgotten fieldcraft meets modern survival. Because sometimes the best technology is the one we left behind.